No, you have to tell your friends to. So somebody else can do it from their phone. Or you can do it from your own phone. Like I usually do it. Okay, you do that. Oh Lord Jesus, help me. Baby, what's on my notes and stuff? I look at the I know you're going to give me a signal. These are yours. Thank you. So you want to go live? Off this week or what? You want to go live? So we can be seen with your hand and one thing at a time. How we know you're live? So we can hear. Amen. So everything is set up. So here's my question. This is going to tell me when I'm going to break, right? So after this comes up, this where if the instrumental stops,
you don't want to wait until it stops because then it'll hit your commercial and you need to hit your mic off. So you're going to get down to like the last few seconds and then hit mic talk. So rock talk, hit that, and then it'll go off and then they'll hear your commercials and your song. And then you continue to watch it, and then when you are going to talk again, just let the instrumental come in for a few seconds and rock talk and then I'm like, yeah.
Question for you. When it says duration, that's what's playing now, right?
What's in that deck at the top and the foot is what's playing.
What is this artist title? Duration? Nothing.
That so after that 2 minutes and 58 seconds, that Layla, that's gonna go up in deck A. And then that's gonna be the next thing to play. Oh, live now. You're live now. You have one YouTube person. Not yet.
Oh, yeah, now it's one. Oh, there's a spider on the wall.
We're live.
Rita, please. Oh, you playing? I didn't see the number. Yes. Behind it. Is she here? I'm up here.
So fun.
We need to tap dance on top of the table. That gives you a show right there.
Then over.
Hold on. All right, it is 570 763 9675.
Thank you so much.
So the intro is getting ready to
Go to that. No. Second row.
it's fine. I'm gonna move it now.
Oh, you gonna move it?
I don't know if you do it backwards or front.
Should I do them like backwards or front? Front or like that?
Lady Jim.
So now, next is gonna be your commercials,
Mhm.
your drop, your intro, and your on. You ready? We're going live. We are live.
Can't take her anywhere. Can't take her anywhere. Can you still have that article?
No, it was on the phone. Don't forget to tell us when we can see you, like, when we tune in.
Hi.
The website's on.
Yes. I'm so glad we are live.
Thank you.
We are live.
Yes.
Okay.
You can listen on Tuesdays, from the 7th, your social media, how to follow you, check you out on YouTube. Alright, so this is your last commercial.
This is the last one. And drop 4. So after drop 4, I'm hitting this.
Yeah, you're gonna let it, no, your Layla is getting ready to come on your intro.
Okay, good.
So when
No, Jesus,
Jasmine-
so fast.
So Jasmine Sullivan is getting ready to come on, and then you let that play for about 5 seconds, and then you're gonna hit lock up.
Welcome to Diaries of a Pastor's Wife. We are live. Hold on, I'm so sorry, you guys. Why, LP, why are you putting your finger up at me now? What's going on? What? Now she's not talking. We're so excited to be live here in the studio. Woo, 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 woo.
Yes, we are.
This is so exciting. I hope you guys can hear us because I'm excited. So, this is Lady Jim, and we are going to have a lot of fun today. We have some topics that we do want to discuss, but I want to let you know that you guys can tune in and watch us on YouTube Live. It's Diaries of a Pastor's Wife on the YouTube Live channel for WMSK Online Radio. You guys should be able to tune in to see our beautiful faces.
That's right.
Yeah, are y'all here?
Amen.
I'm by myself.
Amen.
We're with you.
I'm just all alone here. You also can email us at diariesofapastor'swife@gmail.com, and you also can hook up with us on Facebook at Diaries of a Pastor's Wife. Look for my face. Hopefully it looks familiar. All right, so one of the things that I did want to talk about with everyone is that we actually have an exciting, and I can't wait, event coming up with Lady Blue in conjunction with WMSK Online Radio presents the 4th annual 50 Shades of Blue Domestic Violence Awareness Conference. Join us as we step up and continue to fight against intimate partner violence. Experience this powerful event on October 20th from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Furley Recreational Center, 4633 Furley Avenue in Baltimore, Maryland. We have dynamic speakers and a host of other amazing local talent, giveaways, vendors, workshops, food, and loads of fun. There will be a wheelchair accessibility, ample parking, and even a playground for the kids. Whoa, that's going to be a great time. So, what are you guys waiting on? Come on, you guys, come out and join us. You can go to Eventbrite and get the tickets. Just search for the fourth annual 50 Shades of Blue Baltimore or click the flyer on the wmskonlineradio.com website. Children 6 and under get in free with a paying adult or student ages 7 through 17. You must have a ticket to enter the event. Group rates are available. For more information on sponsorship opportunities, please email 50 Shades of Blue Baltimore at gmail.com. See you there. Don't forget, this is the home of Cheryl Underwood Radio. Ladies, I was looking and I was getting ready to purchase our tickets for the event because I'm so excited. I really want to come. And we know that domestic violence is really something that is close to our hearts.
Yes.
Because it's something that I know Sister Blue, Nexida, has experienced, and I myself have experienced. And it's something that I definitely want to give back to what I feel very strongly about.
Right.
So we are going to try to come out and be in the place and be in the park, in the building. We're from Pennsylvania, so we're not too sure. But is it?
It's a building.
It's a building. Oh, nice. Okay. And I should have got that from the commercial. Y'all forgive me. But I wanted to talk about. I saw a very sad post on Facebook, and it was in regards to a pastor actually committing suicide, and thinking about the impact that it has on non-believers, and people who look at it like, well, you're supposed to be in church, you're supposed to have it all together, you know what I mean? What's wrong with you? You a pastor, you know what I mean? And I look at, I think the mental health is very taboo in the church world, and it shouldn't be. Do you know what I mean? Because we all need help. You break your leg, you get some help for it. If your brain ain't on full capacity, then why? Everybody needs somebody to talk to. And I feel like a lot of the barriers need to be taken down.
Yes.
With regards to mental health. I know I've suffered depression. Anxiety, the funny thing is, and I'm just going to tell my little testimony real quick here. It was so funny because I know I have anger. All right, so wait a minute. Had, past tense. I'm not claiming it right now. Anger issues, okay? There's plenty of times I wanted to snatch people up and have snatched them up and just try to, she's so out of control.
I haven't been personally on Wow.
So, next side is entertaining us. Do you want us to turn the phone off?
It is turning off. Look, there was somebody looks.
So your phone right now is experiencing some mental illness.
For real? You went up. I haven't even touched him. Like, what?
It needs counseling. It needs some counseling right now.
Wow, that's so deep.
Okay.
Right.
But I think that a lot of people will lean and depend on the pastors. And those that are maybe even like, and I look at like, your counselors, your psychiatrists, your psychologists, where do they go for help? Because we all need a sounding board. You need somebody to help you. And I think that, people that are in the congregation or that are leaning, depending on pastors for wisdom, for guidance, need to also pay attention to the fact that, your pastors are human.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They got 2 legs and they go to the bathroom just like everybody else. When it's time to do a number 2, they go. It ain't like they walking on water and they, got. When they go to the potty, right? Next time is looking at me like, I don't know what you're saying.
I still in shock with the phone.
Saying that, Lady Jim, what do the pastor's role is there for spiritual help and guidance for the people? So where do you make the connection or the disconnection as far as how many people you counsel, how much should the people come to the pastor, or should there be other administrators set in place to handle some of that burden that the pastor has?
I mean, well, I mean, you look at our situation, we're a smaller congregation, so, you know what I mean, I think it all, let me be very honest, I feel like the pastor needs to set up barriers,
Yes.
guidelines, walls, like,
Yes.
limitations.
Yes.
Maybe not barriers and walls, but, to understand that you as a pastor have to refresh yourself.
Yes.
Definitely.
That's
If
important.
you don't take care of yourself,
Yes.
you can't help take care of somebody else.
Right.
You know, and I feel like probably a lot of pastors are just running themselves ragged, trying to live up to the iconic type of, well, I don't know, whatever people think of them. You know, like you know what I mean, that they're just so much on another level. And I think that sometimes you gotta understand who you are in God and understand that, you know, you need time alone with him too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
I know I do.
Yeah.
Because when you run for so long, you end up, you get tired. You know, so you need that time to say, hey, me and him, I gotta talk. You know? And then when you sometimes, you know, and God puts people in our lives that are actually in the flesh that we can talk to. And I think people need to, you know, they really need to tap into that and understand where they are and understand what their needs are so that they can help meet somebody else's needs.
Right.
You guys agree?
Yes.
Don't agree?
Yeah,
Like,
that's important that they are in the best frame of mind or well rested, not stressed, and so I don't know. Should pastors have a vacation or some time off quarterly just to make sure that they can, you know, be well and ready
right.
to help and to assist.
And I think too, people need to use common sense. You know, there are some things that we can fix on our own. We don't need to be running to the pastor so he can fix it.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like if you're, you know, you don't got money and you don't got food and you don't have a job, but then you don't need to call the pastor so he can bring you groceries for you. You need to start putting applications so you can get a job.
Yeah.
So, and I think people really depend a lot on the leaders.
Right.
They depend a lot on the pastors. They think the pastors have to fix it all.
Right.
You know, well, yeah, I went and just slapped 3 people, and now I need the pastor to actually, a Puerto Rican girl. Now I need the pastor to come and bail me out and just get me a lawyer. No,
But
you just need to
It's
stop slapping
also
people.
important to have good staff in place. That way we know all the resources that are available to help individuals who are in need. You know, make sure you know
Yeah,
you have
but
people to guide you to the food pantry, job services, and all other types of things.
But listen to what I say. I say, you know, I slapped 3 people, and now I need the pastor to get me a lawyer. We don't need no stuff at the church for that. We just need for you to repent yourself.
Right.
Exactly. So, and there is people that will do that. People will go and do wrong and expect for the church, for the pastor, just you know, to put their funds behind our wrong. So there is where I see the point where Lady Jen say about the limitations. You know, we really expect for the church as a whole and for pastors just to help us in so many ways that it should be our
Right,
responsibility.
looking for a Superman, and when
Exactly, and they're humans.
we shouldn't put more on him or her, whether it's a female pastor too. We shouldn't put more on them than we would put on ourselves. You know, we shouldn't have unreal expectations.
Right. I think, you know, we can count on them when it comes about spiritual. Hopefully we're not asking him to pray and we're sleeping. But, you know, it happens, girl.
Right.
But you know what I mean? We can count on our leaders, you know, when it comes about spiritual. But yeah, there's a lot of things that we have to do, you know, like a job, you know, don't come on, just go and get a job. You know, don't expect for the church to support you when you are wealthy and just your legs work fine, your hands work fine, your brain work fine. Facebook is popping all day. Maybe you need to work in the media or something. You know, so that's what I mean. You know, they have to be like that separation.
And
Yes,
responsibility for
you
yourself.
know, because we expect so much from the pastor and the first family, and you know, and the leaders. And they're humans too. They get tired too. They get burned too.
Right.
You know, I mean, they have issues and situations in their house that they need to deal with. And we expect for the pastor to drop everything
Right.
so he can come to our rescue. And pastor ain't Jesus, you know. Okay, he is human, and you know we need to understand that they get tired, they get burned.
So give me 1 second. So I want to make sure that everybody understands that this is our own Sister Blue, Sister Excited that is talking right now. LP, say hello.
Hello.
And I also have our own Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
All right. So I appreciate what you guys are saying. And I think that it needs to be taken seriously because it seems like that people think like pastors are like superheroes.
Yes.
So, do you know what I mean? Almost
Yeah.
like, I'm Batman today.
Right.
Nothing can, Superman's probably better than that. Batman, he
Yeah.
didn't really have no powers.
Right.
But,
Superman.
yeah, Superman, you know what I mean? Like, nothing really could get to him.
Break
really
it.
kryptonite.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So it's just the simple fact of understanding, and I think, and I'm going to say this, and I know people are going to probably feel some type of way, but I think it's responsibility falls on the pastors on how they present themselves.
Yes.
If they're presenting themselves like they are, nothing can touch them.
Right.
Right, they're invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Then what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be awesome.
Right.
But I think that it is important, and we need to definitely take a look at that. We need to be honest with regards to understanding that nobody's a superhero.
True.
Only God and Jesus can walk. Well, Jesus walked on earth. God of course made him, but they are invincible. And even you look at Jesus, how he humbled himself down to come here and to walk like us and to suffer, like us. And there are times that he's had, whoa, check myself because I'm getting ready to get up on this cross. God, Father, do I have to do this? You know what I mean? So he at that point showed some vulnerability.
Yes.
And I just thank God for that. So we are getting ready. Oh, so there's a question from YouTube, and it says, do people sometimes ignore the fact that pastors are people first?
Yes.
Yes.
Totally.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
They forget
Totally.
that he's a person first.
And I think to Lady Jim's point in the beginning, when she was talking about, the pastor, their capacity, if they have a large congregation, if they have a small congregation, and when you are dealing with people and all these issues and everybody's circumstances and, life situation, they're taking this in. And you know how we are, if you take stuff in and don't process it properly, it can affect you physically.
Yes.
Right.
So, and I think that to Lady Jim's point, it's important that, after so much time of just taking in and hearing people's problems and hearing people's issues, they need time to regroup.
Yes.
They do need someone or to be able to go somewhere, so that they can regroup.
Right.
Because it's a lot to carry, and a lot to bear. And I think that that's where they see themselves, okay, I need to step away, from this. I need to do something so that I can be whole.
Right.
Right. So I
totally agree with you because there's times that, and here's the thing that I want to say this the best way I can. I'll use my husband for an example.
Okay.
He has such a heart and a mind for others.
Yes, he does.
Rather than himself. So he puts himself last. You know what I mean? And by the time he's all broken down and I'm like, dude, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like he's totally put himself last and he's forgotten. So here I am, I gotta pick up the pieces.
Right.
Like on Martin, I'm sorry, I'm so loud. Like on Martin, when this brother man came in, he picked up the pieces. All right, so I have another question. What's the pastor's wife's role in the self-care? Oh, we're just talking
That's
about
a great
it.
question.
Good question.
I just beat him down. I was like, no. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No. You know what? That is a good question, and I think that I find myself being a sounding board of reason to say, just those things that I feel that are common sense, that, okay, well, you're dealing nonstop with everybody else, what about you?
Right.
Or, you're not eating correctly, you're not doing this correctly, or, you know what I mean? Like, you see all these different things and then, you got to fight the battle, unfortunately, because, men are very stubborn.
Yes.
Okay, they passed that now. Anybody that got a weak, y'all got some stubborn issues.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, I didn't say nothing. And it's interesting how men will put off going to the doctors. You know what I mean?
That is big.
And I mean,
Yes.
come on, you could have handled all this if you just would have got it right. You know what I mean? The first 20 years that you was complaining.
Yes. Right.
You was complaining. Oh, my foot hurt. Next thing you know, it's like gangrene there reached up to your neck. And now everything got to be cut off because you were so stubborn. You had to take care of
But
yourself.
I think that the reason that they don't go is because they are afraid of what the doctor is going to say. Because if they get a flu, they act like they got terminal cancer.
We are not male bashing, but a lot of men are fearful of going to the doctor. They're fearful of going to the dentist, and just
that's
I think so. I really do.
Like they have a cold or a flu or a virus. It's like I'm dying.
I'm dying. No, baby, you're not dying. You only have a flu.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting. Now, I have to confess that after being married, going on 21 years, and dealing with my husband being stubborn, there are times that, he over there whining and complaining that he don't feel well, and I just sit back, oh, okay. Well, did you gargle? Did you do the regular oil? Okay, I'm good night.
Let's pray for the pastor.
Yeah! But, and then he fusses, you don't care. I'm like, you don't listen. You never listen to what I say. But now, I'll be very, he's gotten a lot better. Because he'll start ticking off, I gargled and I took my regular and I did this.
Oh, Lord.
So now I'm a little softer. Because you're so hard and you're so mean, you don't care.
So in your role as a pastor's wife and helping them, well, I'm just going to say,
go ahead.
You make sure, or do you make the appointments or the doctor's appointments and different things? Like you said, they can be stubborn, so to just try to do what you can do to encourage them to.
No, he's gotten a lot better, so he can do all that stuff. Seriously, he's really gotten a lot better. I'm proud of him.
So that means you've done your job to, enforce the self-care.
That's right. I'm the enforcer. I'm gonna get a T-shirt. The enforcer.
Pastor Troy, the enforcer.
Yes!
I like that.
Yeah, because it's just like it's they're still men, so they still do those men things. Yes. Those men things. It's just it's very interesting. But all right, y'all. I appreciate you guys having that conversation, but I think that we need to, as believers, we definitely need to hold up our pastors in prayer. Not just ours, but all pastors. All pastors. And it doesn't matter where you're from, everybody needs to be held up.
Yes.
And I think you see that when life comes crumbling down on people and they don't have that support, do you know what I mean? That things like this can happen,
So what about the spiritual aspect of that? Okay, you say concerning faith and belief and being able to balance, understanding that you're human and physically and mentally you get tired. So how do you balance the spirituality part of that?
Does somebody else want to say something?
Because
everybody looking at me right?
There's some people now. I as a believer myself, I believe in faith, prayer, and talking to God and praying, and that's an important part of my life. And it's important to know that He loves me and that He does give answers. He does give guidance and direction.
Mm-hmm.
And so with pastors, they're seeking God for other people. Don't they need that somebody spiritual they can go to themselves?
Well, I think that would be wonderful, but
and then what about the people?
I think that's sometimes hard, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, you know how I am. That's why I don't trust everybody.
True enough.
So and then when you sit up and I know that okay you go through life and you experience things, but that's almost like all right, you have a friend and you feel like you're gonna trust that friend with your most you know what I mean utmost secret, right?
Yes. Mm.
And then the next thing you know, they use that stuff against you
Right.
and then want to sleep with your man. You know what I mean? Come on, like you know what I mean? So I think if we as let me just say as women, and I'm just talking about women altogether, like respect the woman code
Yes.
that is supposed to be,
Yes.
I think life would be a lot better. And men need to respect the man code. You know what I mean? But
Yes.
in that, how many pastors maybe really feel comfortable going to somebody else and bearing their soul without feeling like there's going to be judgment upon them because of who they're talking to? You know what I mean? So I think that there needs to be, I think, people that can be trustworthy and non-judgmental to give somebody the guidance and the help they need spiritually. And I don't think there is a lot of that because then you look at the fallacy that is in the person who may be helping the pastor. You know what I mean? That's very, I don't feel like if I got pimples all over my face, I'm not coming to somebody else that got pimples all over their face to say, how do I go clear up my face? Can you help me? You know what I mean? So I think that's just us as human beings. Like, we're very judgmental in regards to who, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to be pretty, or I want my hair to look really nice. Well, I'm not going to Susie Joe who got, you know what I mean, the weave hanging and dangling, halfway glued in, and that's not
Right.
I don't think that's who we are as people.
No. So I know earlier you were talking about mental illness being taboo, but what about should the pastors trust God in prayer and faith so far, but maybe should they have someone professionally to talk
I
a professional Christian therapist?
Yes, honestly I believe in it.
And maybe not just in the African American church, maybe in churches worldwide, mental illness or mental health, or saying that you have a problem or you're struggling with your thinking is taboo.
Right. No, I think that's important. What do you guys think? I think
I do. Yeah, I do too. Well, I do too because I was thinking, like I said, if you continue to your counseling and you're continuing to counsel all of these situations, all of these problems, of course the pastor is not going to go to another pastor and say, well, such.
Right.
Because when you look at the sanctity of counsel, so, but still, just the burden of carrying what's going on, and being able to deal with that and to work through all those situations, I think that's just what's important. And as Lady Joy said, to be able to have a confidant, if it's a confidant, or if it's someone that's professional, that they can get the help that they need.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your input. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
So in this next break, I did not put a song on purpose because I want you to look at the transition. So how many minutes do you have?
1 minute and 5 seconds.
Okay.
That was asking me, right?
Yeah. So then you have about 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
So okay.
Until you come back on.
Okay.
So then
you can't pause the stream, can you?
no.
Hello.
Yeah, but you can hear us.
Hit
Right?
that mic though. You see the little mic button?
do is just I want to take out a couple of moments and allow the ladies to introduce themselves and just give a little segment. Give us something about you, like give me some, just a little bit of me.
Okay.
Who are you? Who are you?
I am LD Brown, and I'm honored to be a co-host with Lady Jim on Diaries of a Pastor's Wife. And I have a radio program, Exactly Impact, once a week on a Thursday morning, and then I have a Sunday gospel show called Exhilaration. And I'm just happy to be here for all these wonderful ladies.
All right. Who's next? Come on, next side, Sister Blue.
Hello, my name is Nexida, aka Blue. I am actually honored to join my sisters in Diaries of a Pastor's Wife, being a co-host with them. And I was really honored by them asking me to join after I was a guest and giving a little bit of my testimony. I guess
Can you
they
speak a little louder? Because I know you can.
right. So I guess they like the Puerto Rican craziness. So I am very honored. Okay, I actually know these ladies for over 20 years and more than sisters in Christ. We are like real family. So I am blessed to know them. I am blessed to just have them in my life, and I am definitely honored just by being with them and being here. I am actually writing a book about my testimony. It's called Why I'm Blue. It's an autobiography that hopefully the Lord let me. It will be out by next year. And I'm just right here sharing what God have done in my life and just the goodness of his mercy in my life. So it will be a lot more to come, but for now, we are just right here trying to do God's will.
Amen.
And who are you, Miss?
Hi, my name is Kimberly Davis, and I'm so grateful to be here today with the ladies, with Lady Jim and LP and Lulu. I've known these ladies for a long time, especially Lady Jim and Leila. We go way, way, way back. LP and I go way back. So it's just a blessing to be here, to have this platform for our pastor's wife to honestly express, herself and the things that she's going through and how she's an inspiration to us
Yes.
and to others. And her testimony is wonderful as far as what God has done for her. So I'm just glad to be here and to be a part of the program.
Oh, thank you guys for that. You're so professional. Shout out to my cousin, Dr. E. How you doing? Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, Dr. E.
And I love your book, Power of the Seed.
Yes, awesome book.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. And I feel like I am so challenged. Here I am. All right, ladies. So I thank you for just the beginning discussion. And I also wanted to talk about running from God, running from your purpose.
Okay.
And I think that it's something that I look at my life. I look at the things that I'm going through in life. I look at the things that I try to avoid in life. And be like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. And when God tells you to do something, or that God is like calling you to do something, and you try to avoid it because you feel like, oh, this is very uncomfortable. And then you get tested on that same thing for the next 20 years until you pass it. So I look at that. Then I look at like running from even the call that's on your life, and then I don't know. I just look at all of that because I know there's a time in my life that I did run. I'm like, look, you clearly hear like, I don't do that, don't do this.
Right,
You should turn your life around, do these different things, and you tend to suffer. I'll say it like that. Repercussions of not doing things the right way, right?
Yes.
And I look like, man, oh dang, I could have avoided like a lot of stuff if I just would have said, okay, I give up. You know, and I think now, at the age I am now, and I look at how serious I am, I think, in regards to my relationship with God, and I look at all the things I've gone through in life, you know, as far as like the things, I think a lot of things I brought on myself, you know, but I look at how I chose to say, you know what, I'm going to be a rebel. And I don't think I had those exact words, but
Right.
I'm going to do things my way because I feel like this is what I want to do. I'm going to do me. And there's so many things that come along with that I'm still paying for it till today.
Mm-hmm.
And do I fault God for that? No, I don't. I fault myself for my immaturity, my lack of wanting to be accountable or to really say, you know, okay, God, you know, what's going on here? What we doing? What am I supposed to be doing?
So
You know,
what's wrong with doing you
what's wrong with doing
or
that?
and doing things your way? What's wrong with that?
Okay, well, you tell me, LP.
I'm asking.
What's wrong with it? There's nothing wrong with it. Girl, just go do you. No.
Our ways are usually not God's ways.
Okay.
That's what's the problem.
All right, Sister Blue. So what else? Tell me what else? What else? Come on, Kim.
I just agree with that. I guess I'm just looking over my own life.
Okay.
And I look at the areas where I have fought God. You know, even as far as being, I'm just saying, okay, I'm the secretary at the church. Being in a leadership role, being an example, just all of that. You know, people can say, oh, you're this, you're that, you do this. It don't matter.
Right.
If I didn't believe it,
Right.
it doesn't matter what nobody says.
Right.
You have to embrace what it is that God is saying for you to do.
Right.
You know, because He's seen me in my state
Right.
of imperfection
Right.
and all of that.
Right.
So the battle that continues to go on with, my God, I'm not qualified. This person can do this, they can do this, and this. This person can do this, and then me. What? Well, Kim, what do you think? You know, it's just a whole thing. Make a decision. You know, just the whole not being confident. God is the one that called me.
Right.
So my God, after being hit upside the head and falling up the steps and down and, you know, running around the corner and I'm not doing it, I'm not saying it. Where do you think I'm at? I'm at a point now, shut up and do what God said.
Right.
Embrace what it is that He called you to do and do that.
Right.
You know, so I look at this, even the situation that I'm in with my mother, and I'm seeing how I wasn't always one that would just want to be confrontational.
Right.
So when situations come up and things happen now, I mean, I better say what I should say. And so to me, it's like things are coming back in my life now where I have to say what needs to be said.
Right.
And don't be afraid of not saying it. If God is telling you to say it or do a certain thing, do that. You know, so that's one thing.
In running, we have to come back around whatever that test or whatever the situation we're supposed to pass and go through. We end up going. That's why we feel like a cat chasing his tail. You end up going through those same things over and over and over and over and over. And I think even when it can come to a lot of things. It can come to money, finances, speaking up when you should speak up. Just a whole lot, all areas of your life, if you're supposed to go through that thing or I would just say complete that area of being honest or handling something the right way. If you don't handle it the right way, you're going to find yourself in that situation
Again and again. You're right. You're absolutely right. And I think let me say this. I know that for years, I tried to avoid any type of leadership role because I'm sorry.
Yeah,
was there some input over there?
She's
What?
like,
I disagree with you.
Okay.
And
We don't know how she's getting off today.
to the onlookers, it has always been obvious to me and to you, Kim, right?
Oh, everybody
To
got
you
something
next
to
Sunday,
say.
right? That she's a born leader, or she has what it takes to be a leader and to go forward and to organize people, corral the team. It's been obvious to me since I met you that that's one of your strengths.
Okay, so to me, it was not obvious, and I'll say the reason why is because I didn't have a lot of patience.
Right.
I could be angry, and I just didn't have I didn't like people. I didn't like people at all. And I think that is what a lot of the problem is that we just it's a lot, when you're trying to be in leadership and try to be in a leadership role, you're responsible for others, and it's commitment.
True, right.
Right?
True.
So,
True.
and when you're in a leadership role and you're committing to people, you have to take down who you are. You have to humble, and you have to fix the things about yourself.
Right.
So, of course, I'm sitting here like, what? Oh yeah, I stopped cussing, but do I gotta stop? You know what I mean? Do I have to start hugging people?
Oh my God! Don't go there. No.
But I think a lot comes with that because when you are in front of people, you have to be accountable for your actions. See what I mean?
True.
And I think that a lot of people want to skip that and just say, I'm going to lead and I'm going to treat a person any type of way that I want to. And that's not how you are a good leader. You can't just do whatever you want to do. Talk to anybody the way you want to talk to. So, of course, for me, putting on the filter, which the filter would be on my mouth and how I talk to people because I had no patience, you know what I mean? Like that. And I'm learning that now. I've learned to put on a little bit more fluff and try to be nicer in regards to how I say things. And it's hard for me because I'm not trying to be mean when somebody says, does my breath stink? Yes.
Totally.
So why do I have to turn around and say, oh yes, would you like a mint today? Just for a little freshness for your breath because you're about to kill me. As you're talking, can you take 50 steps back, please? You know what I mean? To me, like, look, your breath stink. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not just those issues, but Aries, if you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you honestly what I think. And I just Rob is funny. Shout out to Rob Huggies. He's talking about you've matured. We went to high school together. But it takes maturity to be a leader. And I was not at the point where I felt I wanted to mature at the time. And not knowing, I think that it was maturity, but responsibility also. So
like running don't gonna get you anywhere.
right.
And I remember, I don't know, maybe like 13 years ago, 13, maybe 12. I remember I was being in a service, and I remember this preacher was coming, and I was trying to hide in the kitchen. Okay, I knew that this was one of these preachers that the Lord used him in a mighty prophetic word, right? So I was just trying to hide in the kitchen. I said, you know what? Today I ain't receiving.
So you had a game plan.
Yeah. I said today I ain't receiving nothing. Double negative. Okay, I ain't receiving nothing. So I had planned, that I was going to cook that day. They was making food, and I said I'm gonna help in the kitchen. But the whole point behind me hiding in the kitchen, it was that I didn't want to receive no word. I didn't want to feel that these pastors are gonna come straight to me to give me a word. I knew it was coming too. I could feel it in my spirit. So I went and hid in the kitchen, and this gentleman, man of God, God bless his soul, he called me out by name.
Oh, okay.
Out of the kitchen. It was not confusion. I was like, oh Lord. So I almost broke into the front, and I will never forget these words, it was, why are you running from the Lord?
Wow.
No matter where you go,
Wow.
you can hide underneath a rock. And my purpose in your life and the ministry that I have for you will be done.
Wow.
Then I decided, let me go my way. Okay? And I took a little detour. Okay, I always have worked in kids ministry, and I have always been involved, and I left the ministry of kids hanging, basically. That's what I did. You know, it was, I have like 35 kids, and, you know, little by little, the kids ministry just started going down on kids because the kids already have fallen in love with me. And me being disobedient, trying to do my own thing, trying to be like, Joe. No, it's Joe. No, Hona. Jonas in the fish. I was, Jonas. I was trying to be like Jonas, okay? Don't get the people incorrect. So, you know, I was trying to do my own thing. And don't laugh, but that is the ministry that I'm running right now.
Yeah.
The Lord bring me right back to the same ministry.
How many years later was that?
So I went 3 years that we're talking about maybe 10 years later. So I end up with the same ministry.
Right.
I left to Chicago. You guys know that I was in Chicago, like maybe 3-4 years or something like that on the road.
Right.
And I come back, and that is the ministry that I have on my hands right now. The same kids, the same children's ministry.
Right.
It was like I went all those years. I went to Nineveh to go back right back, and the ministry was still waiting for me because it's God's purpose for me to do this.
Well, why do you think people are scared?
Because of what you say, you know, you're talking about you have to stop. It's not that you stop being you, but you have to. You have to be an example for the people that you're leading. You have to be an example for all of those people that they're looking at you. Sometimes you're the only Bible that somebody will see.
Right.
You know, and it's like, Lord, like really? Because I really want to turn you up and tell you a couple things, but I remember that, you never got to church, so you may have never heard from the Lord. So let me get the little Jesus that is only left for me. Right. And you know, and that sometimes can be scary. Okay, sometimes if you're not strong and if you're not focused on the Lord and what the Lord has for you, you know, if you haven't prayed in a few days, or you know, if you've been just feeding your spirit with the wrong things, it can make you shake up. If your foundation is not really solid, you know, it will make you trying to run away and end up God bringing you right back to where He wants you to be.
All right, this is excellent. So for everybody, and thank you guys for joining on Facebook Live, and if you guys have some questions or shout outs, love you too, Mona. All right. But here's the thing. Are you happy when you're running from God or the call on your life? Or, you know what I mean? Like, so if you just running flat out, be like, look, I'm going to do me. I don't care about nobody else. To me, I didn't feel like I was happy.
You know what?
Do you see what I'm saying?
If you are following your flesh, okay, or if you are following your desires, you may feel happy for a moment, but there is an emptiness that belongs to the Lord. There ain't no world, there ain't no man, there ain't no club, there ain't no drink that can fill that. You can smoke half of the building, and at the end of the night, you will feel empty because there is a purpose in your life. There is something that God has deposited in your life that only you can actually do. You see, your purpose and my purpose are not the same. We may be walking in the same direction because God wants to do with us, but at the end of the road, you got a mission and I got a mission that the Lord have deposited in us that is different.
No,
so you look, all my hair starting up getting goosebumps over here. Shaba. You know. So you know what I mean? Like seriously, you know, there is things that God have deposited or established that we want to do that it will be done, even if He have to drag us by our hair. You know, we will do that thing. We can run all we want to, but at the end of the road, we will have to do what the Lord wants us to do, so we can be happy and so we can actually just found that completion in our life of what is it that God created us for.
But what? Oh, go ahead, Kim.
No, I was just thinking about when Lady Jim was asking the question, and you know how when you feel fulfilled, when you feel like God, I've done what you say, you know, and at the end of the day, you could be tired, you know, but if you went out and you accomplished what it is that God told you to do, or you were obedient, you know, there's a peace
Yes.
you know, that you have, because you
Let's
know,
enjoy it.
yeah, and you know that you were obedient
Right.
to what God told you to do.
Mhm.
You know, and I just think that that's where that void would be, you know, if we're running and we feel like we gotta, well, maybe it's this, you know, maybe it's that, you know, well, maybe I want to do this.
Mhm.
And then I'm thinking myself, sometimes I have felt inadequate because I'm looking at me.
Right,
Mhm.
right,
But
right.
God is looking at what He deposited in me.
Right.
And He does see the big picture
Right.
and the end of the road.
Right.
I'm looking at this.
Right. Right.
Right.
So I see right here in front of me what's going on. I'm not looking, I haven't always looked to the end to
Yes.
see what it is, you know, that God really wants to do,
Right.
or how He wants to use me. So, you know, that whole feeling of being inadequate, oh my God, you know, you start self-deprecating.
Yes.
That's not, none of that is good.
Right,
Because
right.
God is saying, you know, I shaped you, I formed you, you know, I knew you when you was in your mother's womb.
Right.
So what you talking about? You can't do this and
Right.
I can't. Oh no, I'm not doing that. You know,
Right.
who are we to tell God that? I don't tell him that.
You're right. You're
Well,
right.
next cider brought up Jonah. I want to read something, then I have a question. 15 seconds, yes. Okay, how about I read it later?
What about if I say something about
Well,
what
wait,
you're saying?
wait, no, well, hold on.
Wait.
What we're gonna do, ladies, we're gonna take a short break, right?
Okay.
And then when we come back, we can finish the discussion. And I'm so glad you guys are talking because I appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Gotcha.
Make sure
We're great.
I'm glad. So, we were going to finish.
I was going to give
Yes,
Sister-
you
I was
were.
going to
Okay,
give
Sister
Sister
Blue.
Kim my input on that one, and then Sister LP was going to go to Jonas. So what I was going to say is sometimes that we actually forget that we don't have to be equipped. You see, when we're willing, the Lord will equip us. And sometimes we think that, okay, I don't have what it takes, or, I don't know how to do this. And God don't use the people that is equipped. God used the people that is willing, and He equipped
That's
them.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
True.
So that's how I feel, like there is a lot of people in churches that they're equipped to do a lot more than what I can do, or half of the church, but they're not willing to do it.
Right.
Yeah,
So the Lord cannot use them.
Well, and that's true, that heart attitude, the heart,
Yeah.
Right.
God, He sees, He's not looking at just the
Right.
outward thing,
Right. So
He looks at
sometimes,
our heart.
right. So sometimes people is like, why is this person recording? Like they can even work the phone. But the person who's good on technology
Right.
don't want to do it, don't
Right.
want nothing to do with it.
Right.
So the Lord will use the one that is willing.
Right.
And He will equip you. And you know what? He will make it flourish too. He will make it beautiful because you got the right heart
Right.
and the right mind to it. So we need, as Christians, we need to just remember that God don't use the person that is equipped. God equipped the person that is willing
Yes.
to do work for Him. And it just step back, it's like, to God be the glory. And He will do beyond what we can think that we can do.
Mhm.
Because we look in ourselves on the cardinal mind.
Oh, yeah.
But like you say, the Lord is looking at the big picture.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I wanted to say
all
about
our
that.
insufficiencies.
Yeah. No.
That's not how God sees us.
No.
So you said now, LP, you said you wanted to read something.
Yeah, I want to read something because next slide was talking about running, and she mentioned Jonah.
Yeah.
So in Jonah 1, it's a couple verses, three or four verses here. Now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness is come up before me. But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord, and went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare thereof, and went down into it, to go with them unto Tarshish. Is Tarshish or Tarshish?
I'm sorry.
You should know better than me.
Into Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. But the Lord sent out a great wind into the sea, and there was a mighty tempest into the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken.
Mm.
So my question is, when we are running from God and running from what God wants us to do,
Mm-hmm.
who are we damaging? Who are we hurting in that path? And how are we affecting others?
Mm-hmm. We are affecting ourselves. We're delaying our blessings.
Okay.
I know I did. And we're affecting the ones around us. I know I affect those kids.
Mhm.
Because the classes start going down. Not because it was not somebody else that could not take the class. They was in love with the teacher Blue.
Mhm.
They wanted to take classes with Sister Blue, and Sister Blue wasn't there.
Right.
Sister Blue kind of let them down.
Wow.
And I mean, like, I was selfish at that moment. I'm thinking about my needs, and I forgot that I have like 35
You
kids
didn't think about that.
counting on me
Mhm.
to teach them about God, to make their class fun. So we do have to watch what we do, and that's why it's so scary when we're leaders, because we sometimes we freak out and we are like, wow, I don't want to have this responsibility on me because
Right.
other people is counting with you. You can do
So
damage to
there's
yourself
a lot
and
of
to others,
There's a lot of collateral damage.
Oh, yes,
So we-
absolutely.
and you will pay the consequences for that too.
Yeah. Because you're responsible.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
definitely.
Yeah.
So that the fear, like you were saying, I know this to be true, that God will equip you
Yes.
in what He wants you to do and where He wants you to go. Because a lot of times we don't know where. All I know is, God, I love you. I want to serve you.
Right.
And have the nerve to tell Him, but this is what I want.
Right. This is the ministry I want to work in.
This is the path I see, and that's what's wrong, And I'm finding that as I'm growing and just different things are materializing, what I want is not important. It's what God has for me.
Right.
And we've mentioned this quite a few times. how do I want to see myself as God sees me.
Mhm.
And when Kim was talking earlier about having the confidence of what God is doing or where He has you already,
Right.
and just being comfortable in that. And some things I am comfortable and assured and sure, and then other things not so much.
Mhm.
No, yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah, I
right,
think
because
that's
it's,
honest, yeah.
yeah, I question myself like, what? You want me to say what? Do we?
And you know what,
Yeah.
Vision, I think we can just go on the circle and then go back to the beginning of
Yeah.
the conversation that we was having.
Mhm.
That is why we have to be there for the leaders, because
Right,
you get tired, because you get burned, and people need to remember that they're humans.
Yes.
they
And
are.
they sometimes they get burned out and they need a shoulder, just maybe not to cry on, but just say, you know what, I'm heavy in my spirit, I need you to lift me up.
right,
It's allowed with being a leader, and they're humans too, and you have to be an example to others. You have to be an example to your own self, and we have to be in prayer for them. We have to be in prayer, and just have people that is really godly, that love us right. They can direct us if by any chance we miss our direction.
no, you're
And
right.
going back to what you were saying about the story that you heard, that is
Yeah.
definitely
Yes.
very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can, and we need to catch ourselves. If we are like digressing from our path that the Lord wants us. We need to just
Right.
focus ourselves and realize that it's not only about us, it's all the people that see us that we will impact with our decisions when we do wrong.
No, you're right, absolutely right.
Right. And what about prayer? And what about that pastor? Who was praying for him so that, it's important that we pray for our leaders and pray God's guidance and God's protection over it. Do you think God can give somebody to intercede or intervene in a situation like that?
But you know what, I think we can pray, and we can pray. At the same time, I guess I'm just looking at how, there's been situations where, I don't want to say I thought I was praying.
I hear you. No, I can relate to that.
Because you're praying.
You're nagging.
No, but you're praying, and then something happened, and it's like, well, God, how come I didn't see it? I didn't see this. It was right up on me.
Right.
I didn't realize this was going on.
Right.
In this person's life, and every day I'm praying for him, Lord. I'm praying every day for him, and then next thing you know, something come up, and it's like, what in the world?
Right, but,
So
but
it's like,
it's not, I think I see where you're kind of going here, but I don't think that
that's not all.
it takes the other person.
That's what I was going to say. I really have to be together. Like I have to want, but I have to pray too.
Right.
You see, because how much prayer you can do for me if I'm doing all kind of stuff and I'm not praying for myself?
Well, that's what I'm saying. When LP was saying about who was praying, we can be praying, but we all know we can all go off the reservation. I was just saying. So even though we are
I know that to
praying,
be true.
stuff happens.
Yes.
It just happened.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's important too. Did God really call? And I'm not saying this.
Be honest.
In general.
I mean,
Right.
did God?
Was
Did He
that
call
his-
you to the ministry?
Right.
And I'm not saying if He did or He did. I don't have anything in mind.
Mhm.
It just goes back to the whole thing about being in the will of God.
Right.
Are we in the will of God?
Right.
Right.
Are we
That's important.
are we in the will of God?
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
People have these grand ideas. Oh, I want to be a pastor. I want to be a pastor's wife. Because they feel I can wear whatever suit I can wear.
Right.
I can get
And
this
it's
car,
not
that
about
car.
that.
You do not know the suffering
Right.
that the pastor, I mean, the responsibility, and like our pastor shared with us the other week, the man of God that is called, if they are a Navi or they have God has given them to speak into other people's lives, they're not going around bragging.
Right.
Oh no, I'm a prophet. No, that's a suffering.
Yes, it is.
And so people look on that and they think, oh, I want to do that.
Mhm.
But if God didn't call you,
Right.
You better step out.
Sit down.
Yeah. Take a couple seats.
Have services. That's right. That's right. Yeah, I think people, for those who are real pastors, real servants, real shepherds, the suffering is huge. And the families suffer.
Yes.
And it's not to say that, oh, woe is me type of suffering, but you know what goes on behind the scenes, it's to hold up the man of God, to stand strong behind the man of God. You know, you can't be a weakling over in the corner in the fetal position. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like what kind of pastor's wife would I be if I'm just over, I can't take it, and I'm just over in the corner like, I can't handle it, you know? Well, okay, wait a minute, you know, you're called to a greater purpose to be able to support the man of God.
Yes,
so you know what I mean? And that is to me, it's a great responsibility because I'm like, I don't want to hinder him. I don't want this to hinder him. You know, and you look at different things that you're like, oh my Lord, you know. But no, I think you're right. And wow, you know, we as I think even leaders coming up under pastors or who he is teaching to be leaders, we have to be able to step into place and we have to be willing to be strong and to be able to say, let me take on some of this responsibility. You know, let me lead out in this area where that it's not so much on your plate. And then, you know, to be able to go through the sufferings and to be tried and to be, you know, taken through. I think it's wonderful, but I think that there's not a lot of willing workers.
You're right. You're right. And you know what? To even I was thinking about the scripture. I was just searching, trying to find it. When you were asking about running from God, running from that purpose, and you know our purpose, and the scripture in Psalms 139, you know where David is saying, I believe David wrote this one, but he's saying in 139:7, whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? You know, we trying to run, we running here, we running there. And it goes on to say, if I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. You know, if I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me and thy right hand shall hold me. So you can feel like I'm running over here, I'm going here, I'm going down south. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this job. And you're just running. And God is saying at the end of the day, you can't run from me. Because no matter where you go, I am there. So at the end of the day, it's just best for us to just give up
and surrender to it. I look at it like this: we have his DNA. We are breathing his breath. So how we gonna go hide somewhere? It's his breath in us that we are living, moving, and breathing. We just gonna run, hide. Right? Blue said she hid in the kitchen. I'm just gonna go in the kitchen.
It didn't work.
It doesn't work. So we, unless we stop breathing, we're marked. He's gonna find us easily.
Shout out to my son joining us on YouTube Live.
Hey, SR3.
Hi, son. You know, I think in your mind, like I'm a visual person, so it's for me. I'm looking at it like me trying to run and hide from somebody that's all seeing and all knowing. Like I mean, that need to be a whole movie on itself. Just running from God, like it's almost like with the kids, with the babies. You teach the babies how to play peekaboo. You know what I mean? You put the sheet on top of your head. Okay, God, you still there? You still there right there?
We playing hide and go see.
Right? Like what? Like what kind of craziness is that? You know, and I think that's almost the way that we have to look at things. Like you can't. How you gonna hide from somebody? First of all, that created you.
Yes.
Breathe life in you.
Breathing his breath.
You know what I mean? And you you're his creation.
He don't see me.
And
Like,
he's in all places. He's in all places.
babies cover their eyes like, you can't see me.
Right, that's so cute. That is exactly it. Like, you can't see me. Yeah, because you just stand right in front of me.
Right.
And in their mind, you cannot see them because they cover their eyes. That's exactly how we do it. That's a good one.
I think that's what we think.
I like that. I like that. You should put that in the play. Like, you can see me, Lord. Yeah, I can see you. You're fine. You're standing right there with the black shirt.
But the thing that's so important about that, you can never be low enough, dirty enough, or whatever.
No,
Some people
you're
just
right.
think, I've done all this stuff. How
Yeah.
could God love me?
Yes.
Because you're His creation.
Yes, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
He loves you with an everlasting love.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to that song our bishop sang. If he had to reach way down,
Yes, so you have to reach way down under the gook,
that's
the
right. He will pick you
Right.
up.
And he will pick you up.
that He still loves. His
That's
arms
right.
are wide stretched out, open, because He's our Father.
Oh,
Yes, absolutely. So I don't know. I just think it's so interesting, and it's not like I haven't been there, and I think we all have been there, and it's just like what steps do you take to stop running?
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I look at my life, and I look at the steps that I have started to put into place, and I don't think it's age, it's just maturity. To understand, just like that child, when that child grows up and becomes, more than a toddler, we all can see you trying to hide. You know what I mean? Like, okay, God, when you looking right at me
Right.
and you see all of my
Yes.
actions, everything that I do, you see. You know what I mean? And it's just, and it goes back to what broke you. You know what I mean? And it's like, God, you are everywhere.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
You know what I mean? So it's like how it's almost like we take God and we put him in a box, and we go to the box like the little genie in the bottle, and we rub the box. Okay, God, now I'm gonna let you out for a little bit.
Yes.
And that's not how it works. Go ahead.
You know what,
Sister
Lady
Lou.
Jim? I really think that it starts with us, accepting what is wrong with us.
Yes.
Because God is perfect. There's nothing wrong with him.
Right.
When we decide that we want to wrong, there's a reason why.
Right.
We need to stop faking that we don't know
Right.
why we want to run away.
Yeah.
We either just want to go and just deep in our sins, or we just want to run off after somebody that we like,
Yes.
or we just want to, whatever is it that we want to go get drunk,
Right.
whatever is it that we want to do.
Right.
We have to examine what is it that is wrong with us.
Yes.
We need to do that
Yes.
self-check that our pastors talk to us about,
Yeah.
because there's nothing wrong with the Lord. Okay, and
No,
when we decide to come back, the Lord gonna be standing right there where we left him.
Yes.
So we need to realize what threw me off. Did I stop praying? Did I stop reading the Bible? Did I stop gathering with people that is holy? Did I start hanging out with the wrong crowd and I just let whatever they do got to me?
Yeah.
Because I stopped being focused. Did I be like Peter? Took my eyes off Jesus for
Yeah.
1 second. So, for real, because sometimes we can be real focused. You see people in church that they're holy, holy, hallelujah, and all of a sudden they're like, they're back in the world. What
Yes.
happened?
Right.
They stopped looking at Jesus. They took their eyes for
Right.
1 second, and 1 second is all the devil needs to mess us up.
Yes.
Yes.
So we need to realize what is wrong with us, and we need to get ourselves together real quick.
Yeah.
So we can just walk again in what is it that God wants us to do. If you fall, there's nothing wrong with falling. Just go ahead and you fall.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
When you fall on the street, you don't stay there so everybody can see you. No, you stand up real quick, like you're in a beauty pageant. Have you seen how quick these people stand up? And Victor, they stand up like they keep going, like nothing happened. That's how we have to do it in Jesus. You fall, you stand up,
That's right.
and just keep rolling,
Yeah.
and just go ahead and let God rise you up higher than
Right.
ever.
Yeah, that was just in the message.
Yes,
on
Saturday.
Saturday.
Awesome. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
about
yeah.
how falling down, it's about how you get
Yes,
up.
yes, that was a powerful message.
It was. I was listening to it today. I was trying to listen to it like in on some of my travels, and I'm just like, because we can wallow. We can wallow in our sorrows.
Oh,
yeah.
very easily.
I mean, for a very long time.
Oh, yes.
And the stuff that God still wants us to do is still waiting on us. As long
Yes.
as we can wallow all we want, but
Yeah.
we still have to be
Yeah,
accountable.
how
to get
about
stuff
that?
done.
When you get finished feeling sorry for yourself,
Right.
being pitiful and whatever. The instructions, the direction,
Yeah.
the call, the purpose is still there.
Yes.
You got to start all over.
Yeah.
Straight off your eyelashes and keep rolling. Because the job's on, you're like, oh, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, we really gotta just, but we cannot be fake. We have to find out what was wrong, what threw me off.
Mhm.
You know, what is it that I was desiring more than God at that moment?
Yeah, what decision
You need
did
to
I
stop
make?
making, we need to stop being fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realize that what did I desire? We love the Lord. We all say that we love the Lord, but sometimes we put the Lord in the trunk
Right.
and we just start driving ourselves. So we need to focus and say, okay, what did I desire more than the Lord at that moment that threw me off?
Right.
And we need just to regroup ourselves because you know what I mean. There is a job and there is a purpose and there is a mission that God has for each of us.
Yes.
And it's not for you to do my job.
Right.
It's for me to do
That's
my
right.
job.
And
You know,
I can't
there's
do
people
your
that
job.
I need to save that they're not in your
Right,
agenda,
because
they're in
you
mine.
have to equip you with what you need for your job,
Yes.
so I can't do your job.
Exactly.
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's something too. I used to really be pitiful on myself and just be like, everybody's better than me. I'm not good enough. Yes.
You know, I can't let it go.
What did I say?
I used to be pitiful on myself. What's that mean?
I used to be.
What's it?
Like you feel like you're
Very
sorry
down
about
on
yourself.
myself.
Yeah.
I used to
Pitiful
be.
on myself.
I used to be very down on myself, or very pitiful, and just not felt, just felt like everybody was better than me. God couldn't want me. I wasn't good enough.
And it's crazy. I mean, this woman can work like every system. You know, I can't even turn the phone off. I just leave it shut. So God equipped us with so many talents. You know, it's just different. You know, your gifts are your gifts, and your talents are your talents, and we need to embrace what the Lord has deposited in us.
But everything He's given us, that helps. We are all a part of the body of Christ.
Right.
And we can see it that way, that, it's for a purpose. Our pastor used to use this analogy all the time. You can't cook. You in the kitchen trying to cook greens, and your greens are nasty because that's not where God is.
That's right. Yeah. So I think that's the first step, Lady Jen. Just analyzing.
Yes.
What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?
What's
Okay.
wrong with you?
So after you have analyzed what's wrong with you, what would you say the next step would be? So you realize what's wrong with you. How do you start dealing with the areas that are wrong?
Well, first you have to, like Simon said, admit it to yourself, and then actually have that conversation with God of repentance, repenting for running from Him in the first place.
Okay.
Look for help too, maybe if you need to.
Okay. All right.
Counseling or just guidance from the pastor, or just somebody that you trust that have Jesus really rooted in their heart.
Okay.
Just say, look, I struggle with this.
Yeah.
Can you help me out? Because I know it's too good in this area.
Honesty.
Yeah, honesty, admitting it, looking for help.
Yeah.
What else?
Repentance is next, and then
I think that helps. I think most of all is that once you are kind of, being real and admitting it is actually trying to then say, you know what, I see the areas that I need to work on, go to the counseling, and then you have that acceptance, okay, I'm working in this, and then actually trying to help someone else.
Yeah, stop focusing on you.
Right.
Yes.
Because if we spend all that time focusing on ourselves, boy, oh boy.
Yes. Yes. Going, yeah. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah,
We
that's
have
a
a
good one.
message too about it's two main things we're supposed to do. Occupy. Christ said, "Occupy till I come."
Yes.
And then go preach the gospel, or go make mirrors of yourselves for others.
Right.
That's the two main things. And it's interesting how in church or religion you just get caught up in so many things that don't have nothing to do with the Christ.
Right. You're right.
Nice.
We've had an awesome conversation.
Yes.
I've enjoyed it. I mean, for me, this, I feel like it holds me accountable. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the first thing that I need to start with. I have to be accountable.
Yes.
And then when I'm accountable, then, anybody that is looking at me and at my life can see that, okay, she's not acting like a complete fool. So, her light can shine a little bit. And, I thank God for the ability to be able to pray for others.
Yes.
That's important.
Yes.
I think it's very important, and I think just like, wrapping up this conversation and just getting down to the thing is that we need to stop looking at ourselves.
Yes.
All right, we got to stop running. We have to pray for our pastors. And I think let them off the hook. Not
Yes,
saying
you're right.
that they don't have to be upright and
Right.
I'm not saying, oh,
Responsible,
go ahead, pastor,
godly.
go to the club, rock it out. You know what I mean? Like, come on, make it rain. I don't think the same thing. That's it. No, that's not what I'm
That's
saying.
not what we're saying.
I ain't saying go to a strip club, and spend all the money you got from the
Right, from the speaker offering.
right. But I think that a lot of the pressure is that pastors they want to see our lives change for the
Yes.
better. They want to see us move forward and walk God, and they see the potential that we have, but we don't see it, right? And I think that we need to look at ourselves and we need to hold ourselves accountable, which will take some of the pressure off the pastors. They get up there for y'all it might be Sunday, for us it's Saturday, and they're preaching messages, and then you have your Bible studies, and they're there for anything else that you need. So when are you going to start growing rather than regressing or staying the same or staying stagnant? There has to be
That's
growth.
a great point, because if it's a good shepherd, he's teaching and giving us things that we need to help us in those situations in our lives. So when we're applying that, I'm going to think straight enough to go get the right job I need, the bad habits and things I have. That preaching and teaching and that example, I'm supposed to get better. And when you were talking, I was thinking a lot of times maybe people are afraid and running because you figure out, and this is just true, you figure out, oh, I can't be like everybody else. I can't do certain things anymore. I have to you start realizing, I've got to change. I've got to give up this. I've got to give up that. I might can't go and have to do that special little something I like to do. I mean, you just, because you are
in moderation, though, right?
In
moderation, we can do things.
You can,
But
but
I
I'm
don't
just
think
saying that thing of that when responsibility hits you, it's like, I've got to change, give up. So
There's certain things that you don't need to do.
There's certain things you don't need to do.
Yes.
Like cuss out your boss and snatch them over the table.
We gotta be open-minded. We gotta be open-minded,
talking about snatching somebody.
Well, I know it's gotta be the boss. But
I'm working on deliverance. At least I'm not actually doing the physical thing. I
said
just stop thinking about
started using that term. I mean, she really has the gift of snatch.
I think
snatch him up.
we gotta put that in the shirt. Look, I'm right in the shirt. She like, snatch it up.
You are so funny.
I don't know how to write it, but I'm gonna try. Snatch.
So I am thankful for you guys joining us. And just being here, being honest, being open. I'm just praying that the radio program can reach others and give them some hope and to realize that, the walk that we're all on this journey, and we're all trying to do the best that we can. And I don't have no judgment. I ain't got no heaven and hell to put you in. But for me, my life, I want it to be a representation of the God that I believe in, and that who has worked miracle signs and wonders in my life. Do you know what I mean? And I think that that's important. And I'm excited because the next thing you guys actually will hear will be a moment of impact from LP Brown and our pastor.
Yes, a moment of impact.
So I am excited. I'm just glad.
How many people write to you, Lady Jim? And also send Lady Jim topics.
Somebody needs to get topics,
questions.
some feedback, something. Do something. Reach out. Let me know you
write
alive.
to her at diariesofapastor'swife@gmail.com.
All right. And Diaries of a Pastor's Wife on Facebook. And the website, join us at doapw.com. guys.
Who's saying? Who's there?
Our son. Hi, husband. Hi, Pastor. Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know how we're gonna get through the whole thing. What are you gonna add from the folder? Are you sure? Hey, 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 next item. Hi, son. Love you. It's all the best. hear you.
Says 4 are watching now?
Mm-hmm.
So you gonna dig it on?
I'm gonna go on YouTube too and find what it's on. For Sam's, this is all Sam's.
All right, son.
What did he say?
He said y'all texting like young people. Hi, India. So at this time during the program, we're listening to some beautiful inspirational music.
You go to the YouTube channel? I am.
You have to subscribe and
Share music, please.
you have to subscribe and then do it.
No, just go to YouTube and then type in get live. Mine is still trying to connect. Oh, there's a mix, but I heard it earlier.
Like the way it goes.
Who's that?
My son.
Oh,
Well, how would you feel? Are you on there? Or you on the ESPN? Maybe my phone is too old. This is really good. Yes.
That's it going on. I can move on my house. Yeah.
Oh, it's on YouTube, but we're not on the channel, right?
On the channel is this music. This is playing. I'm playing around.
After us talking.
Yes.
Did you hear the music on the channel? Okay. Well, you want to see? hear no music. Mm. Okay, you didn't have it live. No. I don't hear nothing. You're talking.
She said we wasn't gonna be able to hear it, right?
You will hear it on here.
Oh, gotcha.
No music. What do you mean the phone's playing?
Yeah, I hear nothing else.